Welcome to the BEASTwriter family, where social media engagement is encouraged. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we are going to continue breaking down my 32 NFL draft grades as it pertains to the 2021 NFL draft. Now, we just wrapped up the AFC West. My last podcast on that, which I just wrapped up, was in regards to the LA Chargers. Now we're going to go ahead and dive and stick within the conference, but this time we're sticking to the NFC East, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. Just be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notifications so you get notified when I go live or when I upload content. Also, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. For those who do and who engage with me here in the BEASTwriter family, we run cool weekly giveaways. So again, there is no incentive for you not to do it other than not to do it, because you won't be entered for our weekly Family Friday giveaways. All right. Who does that? No one does. So before we go ahead and do that, again, I just want to say thank you as we continue to grow the BEASTwriter family channel, which stands for BWF. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and break it down brick by brick as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. And we are going to go ahead and wrap up their draft grades as it pertains to GM Howie Roseman. All right, now let's go ahead and get these tickers up. I know you guys love these tickers. Here is a nice move, which is the number one ranked player on my big board. How do I go about starting this? DeVonta Smith was my number one ranked player on my big board. Yes, the top rated player in the entire draft class. He slips all the way to number 10. And the Philadelphia Eagles struck a deal with the inter-division rival Dallas Cowboys, moving from 10 to 12, from 12 to 10. If you guys remember, they held the 6th overall pick and then traded back with the Miami Dolphins, who gained that pick from the San Francisco 49ers. So there was a lot of moving parts around when it came to the Philadelphia Eagles first round pick. Ultimately, they moved up 2 spots with the Dallas Cowboys and landed the number one player on my big board, and wide receiver DeVonta Smith. Roll Tide roll. You guys know I'm a huge Alabama Roll Tide fan. It's up there on my Twitter bio. You guys know what I'm talking about. So again, I've been watching DeVonta Smith for the better half of the last 3 years. The guy's a beast, both on and off the football field. His work ethic is bar none. Howie Roseman saw this, went ahead and traded up 2 spots ahead, 1 spot ahead of the New York Giants, who again stays within the NFC East because they needed the wide receiver, although they went ahead and they got Kenny Galladay, signing him to that wide receiver 1 contract. They're not sold on Sterling Shepard. Now, Sterling Shepard was a player who is injury prone, but he was a 2nd round pick. And coming out of Oklahoma, he was a nice, solid play. However, he can't stay healthy, which is why they got Kenny Galladay. And they can't wipe their hands clean of his contract this year because of the fact that there's too much dead money tied to his contract. However, next year is a different story. So if you're Howie Roseman and you doing your homework and you're doing your research like I'm doing right now, and you're looking at the board sitting there at 12, and you know the New York Giants are going to go ahead and select a wide receiver with Jalen Waddle going to the Miami Dolphins at number 6, you know dang well that if they're going to go wide receiver, they're going to go DeVonta Smith. So we need to leapfrog them, strike with the division rival Dallas Cowboys, and get the player that we always wanted and always coveted throughout this whole entire draft process. That's what Howie Roseman did. He went ahead and got the best player in this year's draft class. Basically, wide receiver blocking the New York Giants for selecting the BPA, as GM Dave Gettleman likes to do, and they get their man. Now, what does DeVonta Smith bring to the table? Well, he's the number one ranked player on my big board. Like I said, he runs the full route tree. He sinks his hips to run methodical, crisp routes. So he sells the routes extremely well, where it's in the short, intermediate, or long game on all 3 levels. So again, he makes his routes very, very smooth in terms of not knowing and not giving any tells to the boundary cornerback exactly where he's going. So that puts a lot of pressure on the boundary cornerback because he doesn't know if it's going to be a short route, a double move, an out route, speed out. He has no idea what's coming because DeVonta Smith, who is the best route runner in this entire draft class, sells his routes no matter if he's going long or if he's going short. So he doesn't rise too high. He keeps his pad levels exactly the same no matter what type of routes he's running, whether it's a 7, 8, 9 bagger going deep, or like I said, a shallow crossing dig, a quick slant. You guys get the picture. Could also be a choice route where he cuts in and cuts out. So again, DeVonta Smith can run the full route tree. Doesn't take false steps. He can gain separation at the top of his route, which is something that's very important for the wide receiver position. And he knows how to find soft spots in zone coverage. Anytime you do that, you're going to be a win. It's going to be a win for the wide receiver. And DeVonta Smith is all about spacing. He knows how to leverage his splits perfectly, pre-snap recognition. So again, he catches everything his way. So again, I don't care what people say about his height, weight, whatever the case may be. That's why he dropped. Fool's gold, bro. The Philadelphia Eagles struck gold with this pick. I'm telling you. DeVonta Smith, which I said in my earlier live streams before NFL Network put out, before ESPN, people were asking, BEASTwriter, what is your comparison for DeVonta Smith? You're a huge Alabama Roll Tide Roll fan. Roll fan, excuse me. And I said, you know what? My comparison is Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison, Hall of Fame player, wide receiver Marvin Harrison. Now, is he going to have a Hall of Fame career? That remains to be seen. But that's the similar skill set that I saw coming out of Marvin Harrison, coming out of the draft, that I do and I see in DeVonta Smith. So again, he's very elusive in open space. He has a lateral agility and quickness to make tacklers miss, can play inside, can play outside, X, Z, doesn't matter, lining up anywhere. They can do a lot of window shopping with DeVonta Smith on end arounds. He's their gadget player too. So again, look for DeVonta Smith to make wild plays and possibly be the offensive rookie of the year this year. And I know that's high praise because again, last year, who was my draft crush at wide receiver? Justin Jefferson. Go ahead and see that podcast that I said in my pre-draft analysis, watch Justin Jefferson shine. People are like, no, he's not. I say, okay, watch him shine. And he did. So if I was to put a letter grade on the Philadelphia Eagles first round pick, I'm going to have to give him a letter grade of an A. Good call. Not to be outdone. Here we go. Let's go in the second round. Let me put that ticker up. All right. In the second round, they went ahead and they got another Alabama Roll Tide roll guy and Landon Dickerson. Now he can play interior center. Or interior center, doesn't make sense. Center or interior guard. And they got him at pick number 37 in the second round. So they stay within the SEC Power 5 conference, go after the national championship winning team, and then get the best top-rated offensive center in my grading system in Landon Dickerson. Now, why did he fall to 37 if he's the top-rated offensive center? Well, we all know Creed Humphrey went to the Kansas City Chiefs in the later end of this round in round 2. However, Landon Dickerson was the first center off the board. And the question is why? Well, why at 37, right? If he's a top-rated center. Well, this class for the center class is kind of weak, right? But other than that, Landon Dickerson was solidified as a first-round grade, but he has a history of injuries. And I hate to say that, but coming from Florida State, he had a history of injuries, right? He tore his ACL back in 2016. In 2017, he had an ankle injury. 2018 had another ankle injury. 2020 had a knee injury that abruptly ended his national championship title run season. So again, anytime you have 4 injuries in the last 5 years of your college career, with the only exception being 2019, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. Teams are going to look at this and be like, is this knee injury a chronic condition moving forward? Is this ACL injury a chronic condition moving forward? Because if you do the research and if you do the math and the science behind it, 70% of all non-contact injuries are ACL injuries, but of those, a high percentage of those are chronic conditions moving forward. And he's a rookie. So literally, he's coming in with damaged goods, but the talent can't be denied when he's on the field because he's a good one when healthy. And take it a step further, what does he bring to the table with the Philadelphia Eagles? A nasty mean streak, a guy who can basically play the piano along the offensive line, right? He played left guard at Florida State, moved over to the right side at Alabama, kicked in at center. So you guys know what you're getting in Landon Dickerson. The versatility part is a reason why, and a big reason why he went ahead of Creed Humphrey, despite all the injuries, right? So again, he's very fundamentally sound at the point of attack, makes all the line calls, very cerebrally smart, has a high FBI, which I stands for football intelligence. So the guy gets it. And if you watch my earlier podcast, which I'll include in the description below, on Landon Dickerson, when Mel Kiper had him slated to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 24, I went ahead and broke it down as to why I liked Landon Dickerson. So if you want to see that, go ahead and stay tuned for that. And in that exact podcast, I said they're going to go Najee Harris. Everything's in hindsight now, but in real time, I called it out. I said Najee Harris can go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not going to be Landon Dickerson. Here we are today, and that's exactly what happened. All right. So where is the Philadelphia Eagles going to plug and play Landon Dickerson when he comes back? Well, he's not going to be the center because they already have Jason Kelce there, right? So again, he anchors that line of scrimmage. So look for Dickerson to play the left guard position, taking over for Isaac Seumalo at left guard. So when healthy, he's going to plug and play there. They also have Brandon Brooks, all-pro Brandon Brooks, and they also have Lane Johnson. So the offensive line in Nick Sirianni's offense is going to be stout. It's going to be stout and one of the best in the NFL once Landon Dickerson is healthy. So again, I like the play because you're getting blindside protectors and protectors up front. Bodyguards up front for Jalen Hurts. I like this move. If I was to grade this second round pick, I would have to put a letter grade of an A. Nice play here. Now, this is where it gets tricky, guys. This one was what everyone is talking about. In the third round, the Philadelphia Eagles moved back 3 spots from 70 to 73, pick up a guy, defensive tackle, Milton Williams, in the third round at number 73. The needs that were sitting there, as it currently stands, was wide receiver, tight end, offensive guard, and cornerback. And they opted to trade down just 3 spots, gain a 6th round pick, number 191, with the Carolina Panthers. If you want to watch that podcast on my Carolina Panthers grade, you can go ahead and see that as I wrapped up the whole entire NFC South grades on that. I'll include that in the description box below. But getting back to this podcast, yeah, they got Milton Williams, and I didn't like this pick. I thought a better play would be to target cornerback out of Stanford, Paulson Adebo, because you need a boundary cornerback to team up with Darius Slay. Or if you wanted to go on the flip side of that, go wide receiver, go Damie Brown or Amari Rodgers. Or if you want to go tight end, get Tommy Tremble. Tommy Tremble went to the Carolina Panthers, right? And again, you can watch that Panthers podcast in the description below. I'll include that after this one concludes. But with that being said, okay, if you don't want to go any one of those players, why not go ahead and get the best player on the board in general? You need an offensive guard. Go ahead and select Quinn Meinerz. Now you're taking the shotgun approach because we don't know what's going to happen with Landon Dickerson. Take the safe play in Quinn Meinerz. He can get up to speed. He would be an instant plug and play over Isaac Seumalo, and you can start off there. All 5 of those players were better value at number 73. This reach for Milton Williams was a luxury pick that the Eagles couldn't afford to make, in my opinion. And yeah, he was a workout warrior, and the reason why they drafted him is because they really believe that in his ceiling. They believe he has a high potential. However, I'd be quick to argue that not everyone in that war room felt the same. Tom Donahoe, the Philadelphia Eagles senior advisor, was seen not happy about the pick. And it's all trending on social media. You guys can go ahead and see that. My man Weston pointed this out to me, and I was watching it, and from what I'm told, hey, there could be some truth there. Just saying it. Because, again, everybody is tied to their favorites. Now, is that to say Tom Donahoe didn't like the pick? I'm not saying he didn't like the pick, but I'm not saying he was a total 100% fan of the pick either. So take that for what you will. Again, actions speak louder than words ever will. I already say that in my live streams, and here we are today. If you watch Twitter, if you go on social media, just type in Tom Donahoe, Milton Williams, and you will see Howie Roseman going, yeah, giving everyone fist bumps and stuff. Like, yeah, we got the guy we wanted. And then Tom Donahoe's like this in the corner by himself. And then Howie Roseman's like, what's going on, bro? Like, you don't like the pick? Tom Donahoe's like, well, and then that's when it cuts out. You be the judge. All right. So if I was to grade this pick, again, I'm with Tom Donahoe if this is the case. Again, the other higher rated players on the board, like Quinn Meinerz, Amari Rodgers, Damie Brown, Paulson Adebo, you need a cornerback to team up with Darius Slay. All those guys would have been better value. And in order to move back just a few spots for that player, why not go ahead and get that player? So if I was to put a grade on Milton Williams, I'm going to have to put a grade of a D because there's higher rated players on the board. And I thought they were better served to go ahead and take those players. All right. Now let's move on to the other 4th round pick, or it's not the other 4th round pick, the 4th round pick, Zech McPhearson. Let me put it up. It's up. Yeah. Zech McPhearson in the 4th round at pick number 123. Again, this was a reach need-based pick for a cornerback because if you remember, all the tier 2 cornerbacks are flying off the board in the tail end of round 3. Obviously, Ambry Thomas comes off the board for the San Francisco 49ers. He's probably one of the last picks of the 3rd round. So you see what they're doing. And they missed out on cornerback Paulson Adebo atop of round 3. Again, going back to Milton Williams. So they reach for the need in the 4th round, just 1 round later, and they get basically sloppy thirds. It's a pick that really was kind of like, well, we need a cornerback. Let's just take a chance on Zech McPhearson. I didn't like this pick. And again, anytime you reach for need to miss the value pick, that's what happened in round 3, and it compounds out problem in round 4. So if I was to put a letter grade on Zech McPhearson in the 4th round, I'm going to have to give another grade of a D. I just didn't like it. So you see how the Eagles are hitting on the first 2 picks, ticking Roll Tide, Roll Products in DeVonta Smith and Landon Dickerson, and then kind of just whiffed from here on out. Now let's go ahead and take out the remaining draft pick selections for the Philadelphia Eagles. They got Kenneth Gainwell, running back, in the 5th round, number 150. Marlon Tupolotu in the 6th round, number 181, number 189, a defensive tackle. Defensive end, Taron Jackson in the 6th round, number 191. Safety, Jacoby Stevens in the 6th round, number 224. And outside linebacker, Patrick Johnson in the 7th round, number 234. All right, so if I was to put a final grade on this, I'm going to have to give him a solid B because, again, you get the top-ranked player in the entire draft class. That alone warrants a B grade, in my opinion, with Hall of Fame potential. Just putting it out there. And when you double down on that by getting the best offensive center in this draft class in the 2nd round at number 37, yeah, you kind of solidify that B grade. I didn't like the other picks that were made, especially with Milton Williams, Zech McPhearson. I thought they reached for need, diminishing the value pick, ultimately landing them a B grade overall. All right. Well, that's it for this podcast. If you like my analysis and insights, please be sure to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. So BEASTwriter family, what are your thoughts? Love engaging with you on this platform. Please leave your comments. And again, welcome to the BEASTwriter family. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. And I'll be going ahead and sticking with an NFC East, wrapping up the Dallas Cowboys as to what grade I give them. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you so much again. Take care. BEASTwriter out.